Every year, millions of children find themselves navigating the effects of divorce, separation, and custody disputes. They enter a massive family court system, and they never choose the conflict, the litigation, or the investigations they are subjected to. Inside these courtrooms, the child is the most important person involved, yet they are usually the one with the least power. They have no control over the professionals assigned to their case, the schedule of the hearings, or the structural delays of the legal machine. For the legal institutions managing these cases, time is measured through standard procedures. A 60-day extension or a postponed hearing is simply routine docket management. Courts measure their activity, how many motions were filed, how many procedures were followed. This dual timeline diagram shows the harsh contrast between legal time and childhood time. The top line tracks standard legal checkpoints, inching forward over months and years. But the bottom line tracks the child's reality. A standard 2-year court dispute consumes critical developmental milestones. It means multiple missed birthdays, lost holidays, and entire school grades passing by. Children physically and emotionally grow while adults litigate. For a vulnerable 10-year-old, a 2-year delay is 20% of their entire conscious life up to that point. Every delay carries a severe human cost. This mismatch between how courts operate and how families actually experience the process has created a severe trust crisis. Parents and citizens are losing confidence in family courts after facing confusing procedures, mounting costs, and highly inconsistent results. Because the system measures its own internal procedural activity rather than external human outcomes, it operates without meaningful accountability. When convenience is prioritized over efficiency, delayed justice guarantees a delayed childhood. This flowchart maps how taxpayer money moves through the system. While family courts are strictly operated by individual states, they are sustained by a massive central reservoir of federal tax dollars. Billions flow downstream through enforcement programs, grants, and policy incentives into local courthouses. In almost any other public system, the public can easily evaluate performance. You can check school graduation rates, local crime statistics, or hospital outcome metrics. But family courts operate as a dark box, with very little visibility into how well they are actually serving the public. This raises a basic question of responsible stewardship. Why do taxpayers continue to fund these state court programs without empirical evidence that they are producing healthy outcomes for families? Because the federal government provides the financial lifeblood for these local systems, it holds the exact mechanism needed to demand systemic accountability. Congress doesn't need to take over local operations to demand proof that federal money is being used effectively. This is the Child Protection Act, a blueprint proposed by Missouri candidate Matt Grant. It is designed to tackle this exact lack of oversight. The core mechanism of the act is straightforward. It intercepts federal funding and ties those dollars directly to mandatory data transparency and verifiable system performance. If a court wants federal grants, it must prove its methods work. The first operational pillar forces courts to modernize their technology. Many family courts still rely on outdated processes. The act requires systems designed for the 21st century. Tools to track cases efficiently, simplify scheduling, ease communication, and reduce the procedural friction that exhausts families. The second pillar shifts how success is evaluated. Instead of checking boxes to show that procedures were followed, courts must track child-centered outcomes. They must measure educational stability, track mental health improvements, and actually reduce family conflict. By threatening the federal financial lifeline of systems that refuse to adapt, the act forces outdated bureaucracies to measure the outcomes that actually dictate whether a child thrives. Imagine a modernized court system where performance is entirely visible. Tracking case timelines, publishing audit findings, and measuring program effectiveness is entirely accessible to the public. To be clear, mandated transparency does not mean exposing private family information. It means exposing systemic performance metrics and government spending. It is about auditing the institution, not the individual. Opening the black box of family court actually protects due process. When records are accessible and procedures are consistent, all parents involved can expect a fair hearing. Due process protections operate as safeguards, ensuring everyone is playing by the exact same rules. This causal loop diagram illustrates the chain reaction. Sunlight on data creates system accountability. Accountability builds public trust, restoring institutional legitimacy. When this chain functions correctly, the ultimate beneficiary appears at the core, the vulnerable child. Children benefit when all participants trust the system. The health of a society is measured by how well it protects its most vulnerable members. Citizens have every right to demand that the institutions built to serve children are financially bound to one strict standard: putting children first.
Conservative, proven, ready to lead.